This is number 10 of Debunking Democrat Lies, one at a time. So this is the fact checkers. Misinformation is number 10. The ones that claim they're fact checkers and misinformation, they're lying half the time. Most of the time, when they put somebody like, when they want to act like I'm doing something wrong, I'm sorry to say this, but I really believe myself to be, I could be in the Guinness Book of World Records for quite a few things, because this has a domino effect. What I claim I am, I'm about to claim I should be in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the biggest truth teller in the world today, and maybe in the history of the world. As far as searching out truth from misconceptions, psychological truths too, but lies, watching the media. I had a period of time where I was stranded for a whole year, 1 year, and I had insomnia. For 24 hours a day, I watched all the media and studied both sides of the media and looked for the truth, and studied the news, studied the facts on the ground, and looked for the truth. I want to know the truth. I love the truth. I want the truth, and I want to help share it and open people's eyes. And guess what? I don't have a good memory, though. I don't have a good memory. So if I'm making a video, I'm sitting here and telling you what it is, and I heard about this or that, I'm saying, look, I'm telling you, pointing you to look up this fact or go check this fact. I'm not footnoting everything. They could get you, technically from what you learn in school, they could get you for not giving the footnotes and where'd you get this info. And the Democrats, they used to do that. Now they just get you for anything. But a lot of it's, I've watched the news and I remember certain things, and I'm like, okay, I'll admit it, even when I'm saying it, I don't remember the full facts of this, but this has been reported several times, and I'll say, but this part is true. And you can double check me. I'm not going to claim 100% if they back me up on something and see, do I have it 100%? I'm like, no, this happened. Now I can't tell you every fact of that case, but, and footnote it. But look, I'm sharing information, and they shouldn't kick me off for that, because I'm trying to help people here. I'm trying to help our country. But the fact checkers, the ones that do that fact check, and they have control. These are rich Democrats, and they always talk about the rich. That's a lie right there when they say rich Republicans are a problem and stuff, and act like the only people that are rich are Republicans. These people that run the media and do the fact checks on us, those are rich Democrats, and they don't want to let Republicans talk. I heard a lady today, on TikTok, stop me from posting for no reason. It was these. I'm putting these on Instagram now. So, but on my second video, they called it misinformation. I didn't do anything that I didn't go back and double check it, but I didn't do anything in that video that I recalled where I claimed certain specific facts that needed to be checked. It's stuff we've all seen in the news, and we can be introspective and evaluate it, what's in the news and who's telling the truth. And it's somewhat opinion. It says you're allowed to have opinions, but you can't do misinformation. And they blocked me. They're going to kick me off for good if I did more on there. I wanted to keep posting it on TikTok. I found out I can send my TikTok videos to other venues, but I can't send anything to TikTok from other venues. So it's easier for me to record once and share to multiple venues through TikTok. And I get more viewers on TikTok. So I like that about TikTok. But they must have some Democrats in there, or Democrat people, operatives in America, telling them who they can let talk or who they can't let talk. But the reason they don't want me talking is because I'm telling some real truths, psychological truths too, that people don't catch on to a lot of times, because it is rich people that own our media in America. The Democrat, ABC, NBC, CBS. Those have been owned by Democrats since the 1950s, I think. So, and years ago, they pretended to be against discrimination. And so what they did is they just switched it and discriminated against anybody who was conservative, and said, we have to be able to hire people that are like this or this or this. And they hired everybody except the conservatives. And they've had a complete takeover of Democrats, a monopoly. And then they have the power to supposedly fact check, and then block people's speech and silence people from hearing the truth. And so you're not hearing the truth. And which, by the way, I'll say those were fake tears. The comedians at night, when they did the fake tears, it was fake tears because they're lying. They know for a fact that they're the ones that want to take democracy away. They know that. They're not dumb. Those guys are genius. So I'm going to go over 5 minutes this time. But Like when I say LeBron James is smarter than me, he is, but he's not, because bigotry makes you ignorant. And so, he may be greedy and lying on purpose about stuff because he wants money, or he wants to be the richest black man in the world and wants to see no white men be rich. He may be racist. He could be just a bigot. I don't know what his deal is, because he'll never talk. He'll never self-analyze on this stuff. He won't give you, I have people in my family who are Democrat, and I don't really know them. I really don't know them. I don't know what really makes them tick. I don't know what their real main issue is that they hold on to in the Democrat Party. They won't have a discussion. They get too angry and can't have a discussion and walk off. Anybody I've ever known that believes Democrat policies won't ever have a discussion. They'll walk off, and then they'll go they'll go in front of a camera, they'll go online and act like the Republicans are the bigots and won't have a conversation. And they'll start defining us for what we believe. And really, if you just circle the whole picture, their number one goal, they'll say anything they want because their number one goal is to keep God out of politics. And so the thing is, having God in politics is not a theocracy. It's not having God run the government, or people who run it with too many laws that they implement that are biblical, except for the natural laws. So when we did the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, they had all that in mind, because the reason we ran here for freedom was because there was what you call a theocracy, where the religion ran the government directly, and it was the Catholic religion, and they'd be putting people to death for reading the Bible. That's why we ran here. So they had too many rules, but when you stick to the natural laws of the Bible, there's nothing better. There's just no better laws than don't kill, don't steal, and don't lie about your neighbor the way they've lied about Donald Trump. And because that's stealing, and it ends up having people trying to kill him, like Iran's doing. Of course, Iran hates us anyway. And Donald Trump's going to keep them from killing Israel and all that stuff. So they wouldn't have attacked Israel had Donald Trump been president. So they couldn't have, because he had broken their bank accounts about him, basically, the people who do that. So misinformation and fact checkers who always block us from being able to talk. They do it for the smallest reasons, things that make no sense at all. I can see why they'd want to block this one, but that's not fair either. I should be allowed to share my perspective of views and opinions, and my perspective, views, and opinions may be more in line with reality than anybody else's, even though I don't have a good memory, but because I have a sincere desire, a strong desire to know and share truth more than most people when it comes to that I've seen. I'm glad I've run into a lot of people, actually on TikTok, that were able to promote Trump and stuff. But I have not been able to do that on Facebook the last 4 years. But, recently they haven't been blocking me as much. And maybe I shouldn't remind them. But maybe Truth Social, Trump came up with Truth Social. Maybe that's why I say I'm not trying to get TikTok closed down and Facebook closed down. Although they make me angry, that's for sure. When they're being bigots against me. And really they're being bigots against you and wanting to make slaves out of people who don't know the truth, and it would help them to hear the truth, hear it from a different angle, that maybe I'm saying it from an angle that does make sense, even though I'm not the smartest guy, right? I have a good perspective on that stuff. So that's Democrats, though, that have the power. They've got all these people in power that are in charge of fact checking, and then say somebody can't say this or that, but then they turn around and they're the ones that they're calling everybody racist. And that's real defamation of character. They don't have any real basis for it. And the fact is, even aside from that, it's their philosophy is racist. And so they're calling people racist who have a philosophy that is not racist. And so that's why I described in my first few videos that, you could not be racist and then be somewhat prejudice towards somebody, or we'll say stereotype and inhibited around certain people. And some of those stereotypes are good, to be inhibited to want to hang around gangs because there's a stereotype that they're violent, and they can't be. I got to close this video now to beat 10 minutes.